Hey, it's Linda from Homestead by the Lake. So today in our soup series, we are doing butternut squash soup. This recipe is so good. And also, this recipe is vegan. For those of you that are vegan, the first thing you need is a 3-pound butternut squash. And trust me when I tell you, these are not easy to cut. They are normally hard as a rock. But we need to peel it. Actually, that wasn't bad. How come? I'm going to use my peeler and peel it this way. This is such a nice, comforting, warm, just delicious soup. So good for you. Whoops, don't put your skins on the floor. I love making this soup, and this soup will freeze really well in your freezer. If you make a big batch, just pop it right in the freezer, and it's great. All right, so you need 2 tablespoons of olive oil in your pot. That looks good. And you need to chop up 1 large onion. You do not have to make this small at all. Just chop it up, get it in there. Strong little onion. It's getting me. Yep, it's getting me. Gotta go wash my hands. Those onions were grown locally. Not mine, but they were grown locally. Boy, they're strong. They make me cry every time I use them, but they're good onions. So now what we want to do is turn our pot onto like medium high. We want to saute our onions in the olive oil. And I'm also going to need some salt and some pepper. Where's my grinder? I'm going to use Himalayan salt. Where's my grinder? There it is. Things get lost in my cabinets. It's awful all the time. Things get lost. So 1 large onion, 2 tablespoons of oil. We need a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Whoops. Be careful. 1/2 teaspoon. And then some pepper. If you like pepper, you know, or if you don't like pepper, put as much as you want in. That wasn't a lot. So now we're going to cut up our squash, and you want to, you know, kind of be consistent with the size as much as you can. That will just help cook it so it's all, you know, cooked sim time. Boy, isn't this a pretty squash? Look at how nice that is. That's beautiful. So I'm just going to cut them in these circles first. Actually, this isn't bad. I did sharpen my knife before this recipe. I think that helped. Watch your onions, don't let them burn. Turn that down a little bit. Whoops, there's our seeds. Got to get those out. And this is a local squash, so I am going to save those seeds in a bowl and dry those out. Hopefully grow some squash. So now I'm going to just chunk it. You know, I should say cube it. I want to try to be consistent and do like little cubes. It will just allow it to cook consistently if they're all pretty much the same size. I'll be back when I'm all cut up. Okay, we are all cut up and my onions are softened. So now you want to add all your squash to your pot. Whoa, don't lose your squash on the floor. That around, get your oil on there. All right, and we are going to just simmer this till your squash gets soft, and then we'll be back. Probably gonna take about 8 to 10 minutes for the squash to start to soften, and we'll check that. Keep an eye on it, you don't want it to burn, and we'll be back. So this is what we have so far. Look at how nice that is. And just let it continue to simmer. I put the lid on until it starts to get soft, about 10 minutes. So while that is still getting soft, we're gonna get together what we need next. So you need 3 cloves of garlic. You need a tablespoon of minced rosemary and a tablespoon of sage. And you need, where's the ginger? 1 teaspoon of ginger. You know, I always keep ginger in the freezer and it works really well. You know, every time you need ginger, let it sit out for a minute and you're good to go. So I'm gonna chop all these up. I think there might be more of that sage. That doesn't quite look like enough. Because it says 1 tablespoon. That looks better. And 1 tablespoon of minced rosemary. So we're gonna just chop that up. Oh, don't you love rosemary? I do. I forgot to take it off the stem. I mean, I'm sure you can probably use the stem. I think I just prefer not to. Pull out what I see. And the more you chop, the more that flavor is going to come out. All right, that looks good. And I'm going to slice my ginger. And chop my garlic. So also what's going to happen is you don't have to worry so much about getting these into, small pieces, because you're going to use your immersion blender. So all your spices and all your garlic and everything and your onion is all going to be blended together. All right, that's good. So when the squash is soft, we'll be back. All right, it's been cooking about 10 minutes. So now we are going to add our garlic, our ginger, our sage, and our rosemary. This is going to have the most amazing smell while you're cooking this. Let those spices just kind of cook in there for a minute. Telling you, beautiful. Next, what you're going to need is 3 to 4 cups of veggie stock. And I have made some, so I am going to use this. Where's my opener? Smells delicious. All right. Add your veggie stock, 3 to 4 cups. So now we're gonna let that come up to a boil, and then we're gonna put the cover on it, and we're gonna let that simmer for 20 to 30 minutes or so until the squash is cooked. And then we'll get our immersion blender out, and we have soup. All right, we have come to a boil. So I am going to turn this down to simmer. We're gonna put the lid on, and we will check it in about 15 minutes. All right, it's been about 15 minutes. So we're gonna check on it. It's still simmering. I wanna see how soft it is. Let's see. Oh, it feels nice. Get one up on the side. Oh yeah, it's soft. We're good to go. All right, once your squash is soft, take your immersion blender or blender, whatever it is that you have that you use for blending, and remove it from the heat. And blend it up. Oh, plug in your immersion blender. Oh my goodness, Linda. All right, mix it all in. 3 chunks. Oh my goodness, who is ready for a taste test? Oh, you know what's worse about taste tests? Is it's always so hot. But you can't wait to taste it. You have to taste it right away, right? Oh man, that is so good. So this is where you want to add some more salt, some more pepper, or if your soup is too thick, you can add more vegetable stock and heat it back up on the stove. I am going to add some more pepper. I like it a little spicy. I'm going to add a little bit more salt. Not a lot. My consistency, I'm fine with. I actually would have preferred it a little bit thicker. So I probably should have put 3 cups of vegetable broth in it rather than 4. But it's okay. Let's taste again. Oh my goodness, that is so good. I hope you make your own soup. Now, how healthy is this? It's so healthy. It doesn't have, whoops, there's a chunk, that's okay. It doesn't have all of the stuff that you get in a store soup. Look at that, it's gorgeous. I hope you make your own soup. So much healthier for you. Homemade's better. This is Linda from Homestead by the Lake. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope you make your own soup.